Anarchism is a social movement that seeks to abolish oppressive systems. Anarchists advocate a self-managed, classless, stateless society where everyone takes collective responsibility for health and prosperity of their community. Anarchists are against coercive hierarchy. Anarchists believe that power corrupts and that everyone should be treated equally. Anarchists seek to reduce or even end violence and oppression. They believe the representation of anarchism by the media to be about violence, nihilism, or disorder is completely false. All anarchists are anti-capitalism and anti-state, and believe that capitalism is an economic system where investors and landlords are allowed to extract wealth from the economy without contributing goods or services back. Anarchists advocate socialism instead of capitalism. Under socialism, workers have direct control over the means of production or land, factories, and offices. Through democratic organization, anarchists seek to remove the abusable systems of power that bosses and politicians leverage today to unjustly rule over society. Most anarchists are communists and advocate a classless, moneyless, stateless society. Anarchist society has no central authority, but instead consists of interconnected communities that use direct democracy to organize themselves without rulers or bosses. Seattle, Washington, June 7th, 2020. After a weeks-long standoff between Seattle police and anarchist protesters in downtown Seattle, in the dead of night, police finally retreat. Day 1. In the morning of June 8th, the anarchists, still occupying the city blocks, declared 6 blocks an official autonomous zone, no longer part of the United States of America. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is created. We will refer to it as CHAZ, or more easily, AutoZone. Using the barricades that the Seattle police left over as the border on one side of the block, the other streets were blockaded with a line of orange cones. Simply impenetrable. Off to a good start. Day 2, June 9th. Among the chaos, a leader arises. Twitter name, Anarchomastia. Let's call him her Archomast for short. Undeniable leadership skills catapult him her to a voluntary community leadership role. He takes to Twitter, reaching out for community help from neighboring state Seattle. She puts out the call for tents, art supplies, barricade materials, and yourself. The call is answered. Not so much barricade materials. That would require access to industrial materials like trucks, concrete, skilled workers, etc. But we got the next best thing. Free cannabis.
Free cannabis for freedom fighters! Oh, thank you. She said, yes, she's a bank. I think I learned. Thank you. Bless you. Free cannabis for freedom fighters!
Can I take a photo with you?
Sure. Free cannabis for freedom fighters!
Meanwhile, on the law and order front, a community police force is quickly forming under the guidance of community organizer Raz Simone. Let's call him the Raz. Under the name, the People's Force. A live video is released where he advises the unfamiliar faces should be stopped, questioned, and checked to see if they are armed. Essentially, the anarchist community police's first order of business was to institute stop and frisk. On the night of the 9th, the Raz catches a black man doing graffiti over another person's graffiti. It is declared disrespectful, and the Raz tries to de-escalate the situation by giving the man a hug. The hug is rejected, and Raz's hand is forced to execute community righteous punishment on the so-called disrespectful street artist.
Hey, yo, hey, bro. Hey, you gonna buck up on her?
Yes, the community police's first action was to beat up a black man doing graffiti. Back on the political front, Arcomast puts up a community alert that the homeless people they invited from their neighboring state, Seattle, made off with all the community food. This time, Arcomast is requesting vegan meat substitutes and soy products. It's important not to engage in animal exploitation in the early stages of forming the AutoZone anarchist utopia. Back on the streets, a big screen has appeared in the Commons and is now officially airing documentaries exposing capitalist exploitation. Yes, we now have official state communist propaganda in the public spaces of AutoZone.
Recognition was almost directly responsible for the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan. It had received this romantic, glowing, heroic portrait.
State police? Check. State-run media? Check. We are on day 2 of anarchist utopia. Trouble in paradise. Arcomast got into a fight with another community organizer and is now threatening self-harm. Don't do it, Arcomast. You are free to cross the line of orange cones back into Seattle territory and call the free Seattle Mental Health Hotline. Even capitalist hellscapes like Seattle have some redeeming qualities. Oh no! Rumors are flying that the Raz is no longer being considered head of the community police by the people and is now being referred to as a warlord due to him being essentially the strongman single-handedly patrolling AutoZone via old-fashioned being bigger and stronger than anyone else and his heavy-handed street justice tactics. AutoZone is now degenerating into a third world S-hole dominated by local marauding warlords. As the story of AutoZone unfolds, only the gods know what the future holds. To be continued.